You know it's not hard. I'm
Yeah.
I'm chilling. But the
Yeah.
audience then will experience, oh, wow. In this part of a real singing lesson, we'll discover that what 99.9% of the singers do right before a challenging high note, load up on air, is dead wrong. Taking a massive breath like that right before a high bell or mix note will actually prevent you from singing that note effortlessly, on pitch, and without strain. I will show you an experiment that will prove this. Just this one revelation could save more voices than all sing from the diaphragm tips combined. We're going to do an experiment that will prove this and that will make singing high, powerful stuff like shallow more effortless from here on out. This single revelation could save more voices than every Sing from the Diaphragm advice video combined. But before we begin, here's my best advice if you actually want to improve your singing. Sign up for my free ABC voice model mini course. In lesson 4, we'll talk about breath support in a different way than in this session. And breath support is only one of the 3 pillars for a healthy sound. To learn about the other 2, watch the free course. Link in description. There you'll also find a link to book a private coaching session with me, just in case you want me to say sweet or not so sweet things about your singing. Depends on how much you pay. All right, let's dive in. For every note that we sing, there's a perfect amount of airflow to sing that note with. And if we sing it with that perfect amount of airflow, it will be on pitch, it will not strain, it will sound good and rich and full. And if we sing with less airflow, there will just not be any sound. And if we sing with more airflow, we'll start straining and pushing and not getting to the pitch. And the funny thing is that for a song like this, where we sing with a lot of power, it can feel like we need to go and then push out a lot of air.
Yeah.
But it's actually the opposite. So for the sound that we need for this song, we only need a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of airflow. And that's part of what we're doing when I say sing backwards. Instead of pushing out a lot of air, you're holding back air and you're singing with less air.
I think that makes sense.
And to make that happen and to get less strain and to make this easier for yourself, you can use breath support actively to hold back air. That's basically what breath support is controlling and limiting the airflow so it doesn't push in your vocal folds, but you get the perfect amount of airflow. And what you can also do is breathe in less to begin with, because for a line like this, I'm of the deep end, I almost need no air. I can just talk. I don't have to breathe in between talking. I've been talking for a while now. I can still go, I'm of the deep end. And now I can keep talking. And now I was empty. But that's way more, because what I saw you do, and what I think everyone does when they approach a line like this, you only have to sing 5 words here, and you go, I'm of the deep end, and then you breathe in again for the next, 5 words again.
Yeah, exactly.
The funny thing is that if you breathe in less, I have to be complete. If I breathe in a lot, it's like inflating a balloon or like a ball or whatever. There's a lot of pressure. And the air that you take in, if you take in a lot, it also wants to come out. So if you go, well, let's do an experiment. So breathe in as much as you can and then hold it. So go. And then relax and let it out.
Yes.
Okay. Now do the same thing and just take in a tiny breath and then hold it. And relax and let it out.
Wow.
Right? So on the first one, you need to...
I feel like I want to get it out, right?
Yeah, it wants to come out because there's so much pressure. So even before you start singing, there's already pressure. And if you breathe in less, you can start from a more neutral position and you can just sing. So a way to also make this easier... Okay, one more thing. The reason, or one of the reasons that you do this is that you feel or you think, I need a lot of air for that high
Yes,
note. So that's why we
exactly.
do it. And the second
Yes.
reason is this, because you already said in the beginning of the session, I'm a bit scared to go into that high bit.
Yeah.
If we're scared, we trigger a very old fight or flight response in our brains, which is very useful if we're scared of something physical, like there's a tiger and it wants to attack us, and we go to oxygenate our muscles so we can better fight or
Oh,
flee.
yeah.
So then it's useful. But for singing, that response is still the same. We're scared, and as a response, we go. But for singing, it's not useful because, as we just found, we take in a lot of air, and there's pressure right away before we
Right.
even start singing.
That makes sense.
Right. So the last times that you did it, you did not tell yourself, I think I'm gonna go all out, I'm gonna go for it. You just let the sound flow, I think you said, or you just sang it.
Yeah.
And because you just sang it and you told yourself, I'm just gonna sing it, you also were not as scared. And because of that, you also did not take in as much air. And because of that, it was easier to sing it with a fuller sound without straining. So it's all like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
So to make it easier for yourself, one thing is to help yourself be less scared of it. And you can do this in many ways. One is to just do it often and build up the trust and the confidence, I can do this, which will make you less scared. If you come across a tiger and you survive it, and you do that again and again and again, and you already know, I've seen 100 tigers, and I've survived all of them, then you probably won't be scared of the 101st tiger either. So that way you can approach singing as well. You can just train and help yourself feel and trust and be confident, I can do this, which will help you do it even more and more easily. So that's playing with your mindset, but we can also just approach it physically and help ourselves breathe less before singing the line and see if that helps. So a trick to do this is to just talk a little bit and then go straight into singing without breathing first. So you can go blah, 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 hi, 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 I'm of the deep end. Try it. So just go talk a little bit or go blah, 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 and then sing.
Blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. Ah! Blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. I'm on the deep end, watches arriving. Yeah.
That was actually very good, but, and you'll see this when you watch the recording back, if you do, you went blah, 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 ha, 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 I'm of the deep. So you still breathe it in before you went. And because it was fast, you didn't take in as much air as you would when I just let you do it out of the blue. But I want you to try it again and really not take any air.
Okay.
So what you can also do is blah, 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 I'm, and just go straight in.
Blah, blah, blah. Ah, oh my God, I keep want to take a...
It's very difficult.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm on a deep end, watches arriving.
Yes. How did that feel?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. So this way, and now you did not take in air before. If you take in a lot of air, you can still control the line, but then you need to use a lot of breath support to control the air and to not have strain on your voice. But if you don't need that much air for a line, and here I am of the deep end, it's a short line, and then we can already take another breath. It's more efficient if you take in a little breath, which costs less energy than taking in a big breath. And then with that little breath, if you can make it to the end of the line, you do not have to put as much energy into breath support. So you can sing more relaxed as well. So it's more efficient in two ways to sing that way, and it will just become easier.
Wow.
So to get this down is hard work because this is a habit. You're used to breathing like this. It goes very automatic.
Yeah.
So what I would do is sometimes focus on this a lot and just for a couple minutes try some exercise. I'll give you some. And then sometimes just let that go again and just sing and hope that what you've practiced will automatically show up in your singing. Because now if you will focus on your breathing all the time while singing, you'll go crazy.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
but ways to do this: one, just take a separate line, talk a little bit, and then go straight into singing, like we just did. What you can also do is breathe in relaxed, as you would do when you're at ease, at rest, or in a conversation. You just take a small breath in, small breath out, small breath in, and then you sing. Instead of going for like a singer's breath, like you just take a normal breath in, and then you start singing. That's enough to sing the line.
Yeah.
So that's still very separate. And then when you want to apply it more into the song, one thing that you can try is you breathe in as you would want to do. You sing the line, then you pause, and then you sigh out. If there's still a lot of air in your lungs, so you just relax and you go like that. Yes, that's relaxed. And then you're sort of at your neutral point. And that's where we want to end up at the end of the line. So if you go like this, I'm off the deep end. There's still a lot of air in my lungs, which tells me I could have taken in less and I could have sung this more efficiently. Whereas if I go tiny breath in, I'm off the deep end, I can still sigh out a tiny bit, but it's only a little bit. And that tells me, okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty efficient. And sometimes you'll find, okay, I really needed more air for this line. This will not often happen, but then you go sort of through your neutral point, and you'll find that your stomach really starts to like, you're on reserve air. Then you know, okay, I actually needed a bit more air for this. But when you sing powerfully like this, it will not happen often. So just to experiment, sing the line, I'm of the deep end, and first do it with a big breath, and then sing it.
Okay.
And then, sing it, pause, and then sigh out.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of air left, and now a tiny breath.
No, not much breath.
Right. So that one was way more efficient. And one other thing that I will point out here, you'll see it directly when you look at the recording. When you took in the big breath, you started with a lot of air as well. So you started like that, right?
Yes, I did.
And if we sing this high with this much power, we cannot sing with added air. So we cannot use a breathy tone. There's just a tiny bit of airflow we need. And if you start with that, then from the start, there's strain on your voice. The second time, when you took in a tiny breath, there was no starting or not a lot of starting pressure. And you just started very relaxed. Instead of with the like that. But because and this is what you've been doing throughout the session, and I thought we'll talk about this later, but you started with the big breath, and you started with the
yes.
And then the beginning is never nice. And you corrected very well afterwards, but the beginning was always a bit like that. And now you took in less, and the beginning was very relaxed as well. And it will be way easier to sing like this and to sustain these kind of powerful choruses for a longer time without getting hoarse and getting voice trouble.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah,
this is great.
That's so true. That's so true, because I keep having like this conception that, oh my god, it's tough. I need to prepare for this thing, and I need a lot of air for the high note. And then I guess I just end up doing that. But actually, and when I get past that starting note, I realized, actually it's not that hard. Like, I can do this, and then like I start to relax more and like, okay, I guess I can sing this with like, more easily. Yeah.
That's the key. So I think there's sort of 3 levels to this. There's like in my own experience, at some point I really could not sing this sort of high, powerful stuff. Then I sort of unlocked it, but it took me a lot of effort, and it was really risky. And sometimes it would work, and sometimes it would not. Then the next level for me, and I think we approach this now as well for you with the sound that you still like, is to become confident with it and trust that you can do it. And then all of a sudden, you can do it very easily. And you can just get the notes and you get very close or even all the way to the sound that you want. And it's not a lot of effort. And then there's another level that I found, because when I unlocked this for myself, I had like a recital with my band, and there were judges, and they were judging our performance. And they said, it's very impressive what you're doing, but it sounds too easy, and I don't believe you now. So when you sing I'm of the deep end, and it's a very emotional, powerful song, if it's like, I'm of the deep end, what's it? It has this sort of sound, but it doesn't look like it causes me pain and that I have to work for it, and then you don't believe me. So the next level is to keep that relaxed backbone, but then sort of on top add like a painful face, like it is causing you trouble, or like it is painful, or like it is hard. You know it's not hard. I'm chilling. But the audience then will experience, oh, wow. Whereas if you just sing it the way you just did it, they don't experience it as wow.
Yeah.
So
I get what you mean. Yeah.
First, make sure that you can sing the song in the easiest way for yourself, and then you can add some pain and difficulty back with acting, through acting.
Got it. Yeah, makes more sense.
I love this. Okay, one last thing. If you, so we said, breathe in, sing a line, pause, sigh, just to find out and to learn, I don't need as much air as I thought I needed for a line. Then if you, then you could just sing the song and try to make it work. But one step in between could be singing the song and then telling yourself you can only inhale through your nose. Because through your mouth, you can take a very big gasp of air very quickly. And through your nose, you cannot.
I mean, we can use our nose. I feel like, okay, it's more to like limit the air, right?
Yeah. So
to not overbreathe.
Yeah, I would not specifically recommend using nose breathing for singing during a performance, but it can help you limit the airflow and experience, I don't need that much. And then when you go back to mouth breathing, you'll have trained yourself in that sense. So if I start, even if I take like a big sort of sniff through my nose, it's not close to as much air as I can inhale when I go, then I'm full. And through my nose, I'm not even close to full.
Yeah.
So if it's hard for you to sing the song and then limit that air coming in, you can just try doing a couple of rounds through your nose to experience what it's like, and then go back to mouth.
Got it.
Or if you really like your nose, I don't care, use your nose. The problem with nose is that sometimes you do need a very quick inhale of air, and then with your nose, you're not fast enough, and it can make sound. And with your mouth, you can be faster, and it can be quieter. So I think in the end, go for mouth breathing, but to experience how little air you need and how relaxing that is for your voice, you can use nose breathing. I hope this was helpful. In lesson 4 of my free ABC Voice Model mini course, we dive deeper into breath support, and you get a free downloadable version of my breath control companion diagram. It's like a breath support cheat sheet, which will help you sing with the correct breath support at all times. Also, if you want a session like this one, but with your face instead of Alexis's face, book one. Links in description. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy part 1 and part 2 of my session with Alexis. You can watch them right here.